How do you make them hear you when they've already decided to drown you out? That question spun through my head as I stood backstage, feeling the bass reverberate through the walls. The venue was packed tonight, the energy electric. This wasn't my biggest show yet. I should have been excited, but instead, my nerves were raw. This wasn't just a performance, it was a proving ground. I adjusted the mic in my hand, my fingers trembling slightly. I could hear the crowd roaring for the artist before me. It was always the same. Another male rapper, another verse about the same old hustle. Don't get me wrong, I respected the game, but I knew they saw me as a gimmick, just another girl trying to make it in a man's world. They'd say, "She's good." For a girl, like it was a backhanded compliment. I grew up on the South Side, where the streets were lined with dreams as thick as the graffiti on the walls. I spent my childhood listening to Biggie, Tupac, Lauryn Hill, and Lil' Kim. My big brother, Jay, taught me to write my first bars. He told me, rapping is about telling the truth when nobody wants to hear it. He didn't care that I was a girl. He said I had a fire in me. I believed him. Until the first time I stepped up to a mic at a local open mic night. The dudes in the audience laughed, whispering to each other. I could feel their eyes on me like weights, pulling me down, trying to silence my voice before I even started. But I spit my verse anyway. I rapped like my life depended on it. And when I finished, there was a stunned silence before the crowd erupted into applause. For a moment, I thought I had won them over, but then came the backhanded compliments, the sneering suggestions that I needed to dress sexier or play up my looks. They weren't listening to my words. They were looking at me like I was something pretty to gawk at. Years later, not much had changed. I'd been grinding, putting out tracks, trying to get noticed by the labels. I had bars that could go toe-to-toe with anyone in the game. My words cut deep, addressing the struggles of my people, the systemic injustices we faced, the way women like me had to fight just to be heard. But still, I'd walk into meetings with executives who would look me up and down and say, "You've got potential, but we need to make you marketable." Marketable. That word felt like a slap. It wasn't about my talent. It was about how I looked. It was about fitting me into their mold of what a female rapper should be. I refused. I refused to let them turn me into a puppet dancing to their tune. So I went independent. I started recording in my bedroom, using whatever equipment I could get my hands on. I learned to mix and master my own tracks. I hustled my tapes out of my trunk, promoting myself on social media, taking any gig I could get. And now, here I was, about to step onto a stage that could change everything. I closed my eyes for a moment and listened to the beats of the track I'd chosen for my opener. It was one of my hardest hitting songs, a no-holds-barred takedown of the industry's double standards. I'd written it after a particularly rough week where I'd been dismissed, underestimated, and downright disrespected more times than I could count. The DJ gave me the nod, and I took a deep breath, stepping into the spotlight. The crowd was buzzing, a sea of faces that blurred together under the bright lights. I could feel their skepticism. I could see the folded arms, the doubtful expressions, the whispers, "Let's see what she's got." But I didn't shrink. I grabbed the mic stand with both hands, my knuckles turning white as I steadied myself. The beat dropped, heavy and hard, and I started to rap. The first few lines were like a shot fired into the crowd. My voice was strong, clear, and unapologetic. I didn't hold back. I wasn't polite. I called out the names, the labels, the culture that had tried to box me in, that had tried to silence me. I rapped about the nights I stayed up until I am writing rhymes when all I had was hope and a notebook. I rapped about the little girls watching me, waiting to see if I would succeed or fail. Girls who needed to know they could be more than what society told them to be. The energy shifted. I saw some of the folded arms drop, some of the skeptical faces lean in. My words were landing, and the crowd was starting to listen. Really listen. Halfway through the set, I hit them with the verse I'd just written the night before. It was raw and personal, about being a woman in a world that too often treated us like we were less. I talked about my mom working 2 jobs, about the way she never let the world see her sweat, about how she taught me to stand tall, even when the weight of the world tried to bend me low. I saw heads nodding, felt the crowd moving with me, heard the cheers growing louder. By the time I hit my last verse, they were chanting my name, not because I was good for a girl, but because I was good. Period. When I finished, there was a split second of silence, that heavy, loaded moment where everything hung in the balance. And then the place erupted. The applause was deafening, the cheers like a wave crashing over me. I felt a grin spread across my face, my heart pounding in my chest. I stepped back, mic in hand, and felt a sense of pride and power surge through me. I had fought for this moment, clawed for it with everything I had. And finally, they were hearing me, really hearing me. As I walked off stage, I knew the battle wasn't over. There would be more hurdles, more closed doors, more people trying to push me down. But for now, I won this round. I'd earned their respect, not as a female rapper, but as a rapper. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.